Hear me.
So, welcome back. This is part 2 of Learn Tarot with me, Shanice of Shanice's Nurtured Holistics. The first video we covered the major arcana and we covered numerology. Don't let me lose my words because we're getting later in the day. And we covered the tarot associations with the major arcana, which was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. Please make sure you watch that video. That's definitely going to set the platform for this segment here. This segment, we're going to cover the minor arcana, and then we're specifically going to start with the court cards. I'm trying to make sure I keep myself organized up here because I don't want to be fumbling and stumbling. Okay. So just a minor introduction. The minor arcana cards and tarot complement the major arcana by delving into the practical aspects of life and everyday experiences. The best way I like to think about it is in the analogy of a book. The major arcana serve as the chapters within the book, and the minor arcana serve as the pages within each chapter, the content, the bones of it. They are divided into 4 suits: wands, cups, swords, and pentacles, and they represent the different elements and aspects of our lives. Wands are associated with inspiration, passion, and creativity. The wand suit represents the element of the fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It signifies ambition, energy, and personal growth. Cups, the water sign, is associated with your emotions, your relationships, and your intuition. The cup suit represents the element of water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It symbolizes love, compassion, and the realm of the heart space. Swords is your air sign element associated or linked to the intellect, communication, and mental clarity. I also say that's my mental health suit as well. It signifies thoughts, conflicts, and the power of the mind. And the Pentacles suit is connected to material abundance, practicality, and the physical realm, all things that are tangible. The Pentacle suit represents the element of the earth. So that's your Capricorns, Virgos, and your Tauruses. The Pentacles symbolizes prosperity, stability, and our relationship with the material world. Within each suit of the minor arcana cards, it consists of the ace to the tens, representing progression of the energies and experiences within that particular element. I'm going to skip that for right now, or put that in the parking lot, if you will. And I'm going to start with the court cards because I feel like the court cards are more appropriate to start with after the major arcana, because the major arcana represents major life phases, or if I had to put this in terms of the book analogy, the major arcana would be the different series. Okay, So I feel like once you talk about the major series or the different series or within, some content, you want to talk about the characters. And that's why I want to bring forth the court cards, because the court cards actually signify energies of people or individuals that have influence within a situation. So when I say court cards, I mean your kings, your queens, your knights, and the pages. They enrich the minor arcana because they all are broken down into the suits as well, because they embody personalities and they represent individuals or significant influences in our lives. Pages represent youthful energy, children, curiosity, and new opportunities. Knights represent action, drive, progression. They also signify young individual. I don't want to say young, but intermediate. So this could be teenagers into young adults. Queens embody maturity, emotional intelligence, and nurturing qualities. This, to me, in terms of energy, would represent an emotionally intelligent, middle-aged woman. And tarot doesn't have any gender. Let me put it that way, because you will notice, especially within this deck, that some of the knights are depicted by men, and like the Knight of Cups, this is a woman. So tarot is gender neutral, but more women get tarot readings from me than men. And so I naturally you'll hear me do it, but again, I kind of flip flop it within, who I'm reading, what I'm reading for. But for me, queens always represent feminine energy. But again, we all possess masculine and feminine energy. So the energy, will always resonate with whoever it is or whatever it's depicting. Your kings represent authority, masculine energy, leadership, mastery of the suit's energy in which it lies. If you want to think about it in a level of hierarchy, just like you would think about playing cards, as tarot cards once served as playing cards, your aces all the way up to your kings represent, levels of ascension, power, growth. So when you get to the king, you at the highest. Just a nice way to think about it. I know in playing cards, aces have more weight than kings, but you know what I mean. They're two different ends of the spectrum. But let me pick how I want to do this. Do I want to talk about all my kings at once? Yeah. Okay. So we've already talked about the suits and what they mean. And so when you think about, because in tarot, you have to put messages together in order to be able to put a story together. So when you see the King of Swords, the first thing I like to do when I'm breaking down the meaning of a card is I look and see what suit it's in. For this card, it's in the suit of swords. Swords is linked to intellect, communication, mental clarity. The swords also represents the element of air. So this can be, to me, the association with the King of Swords is Libra. Why? And this is controversial for some, but Astrologically speaking, Libra is the highest, is the cardinal air sign. So I'm gonna associate the cardinal air sign with the highest level of mastery. And it can also be interchangeable with Gemini energy, because Gemini energy is a very masculine energy. Also, again, will be signified by what the energy of a king embodies. So just to read intuitively, knowing the tools that I have been equipped with so far, if I had to see what the meaning of this card would be if it came out in a spread, the King of Swords would represent a masculine male figure who has mastered their internal thoughts, their internal is very calm. This is a very self-soothing individual. This is an individual that prays a lot. This is an individual that is very grounded. They have just as much internal balance as the world is outside of them externally. They are a master in creating that energy. As above, so below. See? Use what you know, what you've been given, to pull out the meaning of the card. If you wanted to go even further, I'm going to touch on that in a deeper lesson, but tarot, again, is based on symbolism. There's a lot of images within this card that can help bring further or deeper meaning. There's butterflies here. Butterflies are an energy or symbolism of transformation. There's birds here. Birds are messengers. So depending upon what's coming out around this, you pick up on what's going on and you use that to further enhance your reading. Clouds, what are that? Energy of a symbolism of mental space, right? The mental, depending on the clouds, you know how they say if your head is foggy or you feeling foggy, you're cloudy, you don't have clarity. But you see how these clouds in this card rest below the head of the King of Swords? He's above the clouds. He is experienced in mental clarity. There's trees here. So like I said, he was grounded. His feet are firmly planted. You use what you have, and you can also use the colors to and pull out and extract even more. Tarot is so beautiful in the language in which it expresses. White is a color that represents purity, protection. Blue. Blues are about releasing emotions. Grays, feeling gray. But you see how this energy is in contrast to that, but it's all balanced by the white around it. So yes, there's a lot that can be extracted when you're describing, again, because these are people. So this can be, again, an influence of the person that you're reading directly, or this can be an energy of someone else that's involved or someone else who has their invisible hand within the mix of the situation. You see the King of Cups. Again, when you see the card, what I say go to first, look at what suit it's under. What do cups represent? Cups is about being aligned with your emotions, your relationships, your intuition. It's also related to the energy of water. King of Cups, when I see this energy, I'm going to think of a Cancer. Cancer is cardinal water energy. This can be a male, of course. This is a man who finds joy and being emotionally stable, who's very comfortable in their emotions. This is a man who will cry in front of you. This is a man who can laugh deeply with you. This is a man who's big on Netflix and chilling, and they're not going to pressure you into anything. He's very comfortable, stable. His emotions run deep because he's in the ocean. But he's comfortable in his shell, and he knows how to welcome you in. This is a person that's really, welcoming, hospitable.
What's the mileage?
You see a fish here. What else? Again, cups.
So, I guess because I've been sweating and stuff.
Glasses represent things, being able to see. The crown, king energy. You see that oyster shell surrounding him? You pick up on things to pull more into it. And you also pull in the things that you know. King of Wands. What do wands mean? Wands is associated with inspiration, passion, creativity.
Since he did whatever.
Signifies ambition, energy, personal growth. When I see the King of Wands, depending upon how it come out, and again, I didn't even talk about reversals. That'll be later on, and I don't really encourage people who are just learning how to read tarot to read in reversals. Number one reason why I really don't encourage a lot of people to do it, because if you're using it as a tool to heal, you want to speak to how you can grow and develop. And sometimes when you're reading cards and the reversals, it can have a negative connotation. It could actually bring the spirit of the individual that you're working with down. I don't encourage people to do that until you're very skilled in your delivery and also very well versed in how to inquire with your deck. That'll be another video, because tarot cards are a wonderful tool for healing and overcoming situations, but you have to know how to properly format a question to your tarot deck in order to be able to get the most highest vibrational response. Now, most decks that you buy, they come with a guidebook. Like I mentioned earlier, I am using the Modern Witch Tarot deck, and it comes with a guidebook. They'll come with a couple of different spreads in there that you can try.
Some of that.
And some of the most popular spreads are like the Celtic Cross, past, present, future. You can make your own spread. Tarot is amazing, but I'm not even going to venture and go too far off into a tangent. I just wanted to bring that up. But again, the King of Wands would be somebody that has mastered their passion and their craft. This is somebody who has turned a dream into fruition, and they've seen it all the way through to completion. This is an individual who is extremely creative. So this is probably an entrepreneur.
Went to that girl house.
Yeah.
This is a very ambitious individual. And if I had to attribute it to a zodiac sign, in this case, I would say the King of Wands is the Leo. Now, I know that would be controversial because the Leo is not the cardinal fire sign. That would be Aries. But I attribute the King of Wands to Leo energy whenever I see it. This is somebody that's very passionate, very driven, and at all costs, they're going to do what they got to do to get to where they're going. King of Pentacles. This is the ATM. Pentacles are associated with material abundance, practicality, bringing things down into the physical, stability, prosperity, and your relationship with, the material world at large. So I would say that if the King of Pentacles came out in the reading, I would say that this is a man that's really grounded in the decisions that they make surrounding their money. My associations with this card in terms of astrological sign, it's usually, for me, Taurus. Taurus, sometimes Capricorn, but Virgo got that get money energy too. So it's really interchangeable. Depending on who I'm talking to, I will ask the person, who's around you and call out these different signs. And then if I need other clarifiers, I'll pull out clarifiers surrounding it to see if any major arcana come out with it. We talked about that in the earlier video to see what other attributes are displayed within this person. But again, because the energy can be delivered in so many different ways, it's your job to try and decode it the best way that you can, and just trust in your team and what they're giving you, and they'll
basically offered to go.
Just know that you're in alignment with them, so you don't ever have to second guess yourself, and you don't ever have to feel less than or question your intuition. Use what you know, use what come through, because that's what your team is giving you. So always trust that first. Okay?
Like, come back to brunch.
But yes, your King of Pentacles is somebody that is really, really well-rounded. Depending on who I'm talking to, I would say that this could be potentially a person that gambles, that takes a lot of risks. This could be a truck driver. The King of Pentacles has been a hustler, a pharmacist, an herbalist.
Friends.
Yeah.
And one of her friends was like, so just feel like Mariah.
Use what you have here. There's a lot of symbolism here. I used to say that the King of Pentacles represent Taurus energy because you see, the bull heads here.
Just was like,
but Capricorn is the cardinal earth energy. There's a lot of
it was like, okay, talk
fertile energy here, just with the shrubbery, a lot of representation of earth energy with the rocks, the grass. You use what you have. This pentacle could be looked at as a ball. Balls touch the ground. Pentacles are coins, is money. Capricorns be about that bag. So do Tauruses. So, again, it really represents what you know, what you think, what you can pull out at this particular time. And you want to use your colors that you see too. I like to say that this is a Taurus energy because amongst all of the earth energy, Taurus is probably the most grounded.
You could take your stuff, she said.
But depending upon the evolution of a Capricorn, they can be very grounded as well. So you use what you got and who you're dealing with. Just don't question it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Go get my stuff, and I'm not bringing
moving right along. We're gonna move on to the Queen.
My mailbox.
Queen of Cups.
Box is great.
Cups is your emotions, your relationships, compassion, and the realm of your heart. So when I see the Queen of Cups, this is a Cancer for me. I don't know. I associate most of the court cards for water signs with Cancers. I'm sorry. I'm impartial. I'm a Cancer. So yeah. But and I do a lot of readings on women. So again, it usually ends up being a Cancer or somebody who has Cancer placements in their big three. And this is the energy that is hitting right now. The Queen of Cups is a really emotionally intelligent woman. She's really emotional. You see how she's in this water, but she knows how to balance her emotions because she's also partially on the throne and the sand.
But she said
so
I can't even
she's grounded. This could also be a Taurus woman as well.
You do people this and that.
You use your cups, you use your colors.
Just ended up sending her the money for
she's really focused on her emotions and what happens in any particular time, but she is present. And she knows how to be
And
flexible.
back again. And she
You
was like,
see, her shell
just for
is
holding
different than the
because
King of Cups shell.
car.
And you see how it's faced
I'm not giving her
in a different direction.
like you're getting it.
And then you see the mermaid here. Use what you have to get what you want. And that's why I like to say the Queen of Cups is a Cancer, because that's a water-bearing energy. But again, it's based on who you're reading, what the circumstances are, all that good
Back at
stuff.
home or something?
And just a car.
Oh.
That's all you got to do.
Queen of Wands. My Queen of Wands is typically a Leo female. My Queen of Wands is, well, first of all, the Wands energy represents
Get me a cup of ice and
clarity,
something, please, or
new
something.
opportunities,
Water, something.
inspiration, your passions, your creativity, your ambition. And so this is a woman that sometimes the Queen of Wands can represent
That's yours.
a firecracker.
Pour it out.
That's why I like to say that she's a Leo at times. This is a woman that's really outspoken, but in a means of being able to persuade, because she's really passionate about what she does and what she's involved in. I say that she's outspoken because this is one of the only queens that is looking the reader directly in the face. She's really outspoken because if you notice, she has this amulet placed right over her, right beneath her throat chakra. And in between her heart chakra. So she uses her voice. She projects her voice to persuade from her heart. And you see that black cat there? Sometimes I like to say that the Queen of Wands is a fire witch, a candle working witch, depending upon, again, what else comes out around it. She's fashionable. She is the person that's going to go to the club and come in and shut that shit down. Pay attention to the imagery of the flowers here. What else is in here? Lions. That's why I say that this is a Leo woman, because there's lions that are perched over her head on her throne. With a mirror depicted as a sunflower. So yes, moving along to my Queen of Pentacles. My Queen of Pentacles is a Capricorn. It is a Capricorn. Pentacles represents material abundance, practicality, stability, prosperity, and bringing things down into the physical world. The Queen of Pentacles is an earth witch, an herbalist, a woman that's really good with her resources and attracting coins. She can make money grow and money flows to her effortlessly. This is an entrepreneur. And everything she touches turns into gold. Look, there's a really abundant, there's more shrubbery and fertile environment in her card than in the king. She makes potions, she makes tinctures, she makes herbal drinks, she juices. She is more than likely vegan. My Queen of Swords. Now, again, we look at the suit. The swords represent your thoughts, your intellect, your communication, your mental clarity. My Queen of Swords is more than half of her body is above the clouds. She's very in control of her mental space and her mental health. But my Queen of Swords don't take no shit. My Queen of Swords block people out. My Queen of Swords got tunnel vision. My Queen of Swords is getting to where she growing to, and she's blocking everybody else out. My Queen of Swords rises above the ashes. She is the eagle. You can't hold her back. And even if she is being attacked, she's still going to ascend. And you can't stop her. If I had to attribute the Queen of Swords to a particular astrology, who would I say my Queen of Swords is? I never really attached my Queen of Swords to an astrological sign. Let me think. It's not Gemini, although she could be. I'm gonna leave her open. I always have. Because in my readings, my Cancers can turn up as Queens of Swords because they've been hurt. I think anybody can show up as a Queen of Swords because that is, again, I'm a healer. So when I see the Queen of Swords, she can show up as somebody that's working on her healing journey. But there's levels to that shit, okay? So when I see the Queen of Wands show up, the Queen of Swords show up, that's letting me know that you're in that phase where it's okay for you to block people out because you need to focus. Typically, I don't advise people to block people out. I feel like that's avoidance. But when the Queen of Swords shows up, and depending upon what's showing up around her, what's the questions, you get it. It depends. But I'm going to move right along to my Knights. All right. Knight of Wands. Knights, again, are, to me, Knights are, they could be men that are immature. They could be your son, if you got a son that's, a young man. Or, a woman in your life that's a young adult, again, because tarot doesn't have any gender. It just depends on what the situation is or circumstances that we're reading on. But wands, again, are associated with inspiration, passion, creativity, ambition. And a Knight of Wands is somebody that's really moving quickly. They're really progressive. They're fast paced. This might be somebody that doesn't get all of the details. They might be missing some things. They're quick to move, quick to be angered. This can be someone that fight first, ask questions later. Okay? Somebody that's hot-tempered, hot under the collar. You see they got red hair. That could also be somebody that's a bully or a gullible or, naive, because again, they don't have everything it takes for that energy to be at a level of mastery. We have the Knight of Cups. Cups are associated with your emotions, relationships, and your intuition. The Knight of Cups represents somebody coming in with an offer. You see the cup that he's holding in his hand extended? This person is bringing you something. But this is somebody that took their time. Because I look at the activity of the horse. This horse looks slower in pace than this one. This one is on some giddy up cowboy type shit. This one is on some grazing. This could be somebody coming in to make a proposal. This could be somebody coming in to, you know, advance the relationship. Somebody, you know, thinking of what else they want to do in the relationship. How can it progress? Or examining what you're working towards in terms of the matters of the heart. Knight of Swords. Your swords, again, is associated with your intellect, your communication, the mental clarity, your conflict. So this is somebody that acts really quickly. This is somebody that gets the download, pew, they take off with it. This is somebody that's really, you know, action oriented. And the power of the mind for them is within action. This to me could also represent a Gemini because they move around and do a lot. But this could also be an Aquarius as well because they're really strategic. But again, depending upon what shows up around it, tells more about this attribute. My Knight of Pentacles. This is actually one of my least desired knights when they show up. Because the Knight of Pentacles, you see his horse? His horse is stable. His horse is not moving. This horse is grounded. This horse does not look like it's about to take a step further. And what does this knight look like he's doing? Looking at this pentacle in his hand, studying it, trying to master it. This is my Virgo when this shows up. Virgo is very much perfection driven. This is the energy that's going to make sure that they took every conscious, practical, analytical, logical phase before they take one step. They have to know everything down to the penny. This is a person that when they make a proposition or a declaration, best believe this is what they want. It was slow to get there. It took eons to get there, centuries, but they did it. But that's why the King of Pentacles is so grounded in their approach, because the king sits on the throne because the knight dragged. But it's substantial, it's of substance. We are going to get to the pages next. Pages represent youthful energy, curiosity. So when you see the Page of Wands, the Page of Wands represents somebody who's curious about where their passion lies. This might be somebody that is trying to go to school, determining what they want to study. This could be someone that It's trying to figure out what inspires them, what is passionate about them. They can be studying a lot. Or they could be kind of throwing, I just got the image of someone throwing a bunch of different colors of paint at a canvas and seeing what sticks and how it lands. The Page of Pentacles. Pentacles again, practicality, bringing things down into the physical, but this person hasn't gotten to that phase yet. They're again trying to figure out how can they grow. This may be someone trying to figure out how to get involved in the stock market. So they're trying to see, they're researching, trying to see what is flourishing, what are the risks involved, what's needed in order to achieve this. But there's a lot of optimism there. This is someone who, as soon as they gather everything up, they're going to be able to hit the ground running. But again, the Knight of Pentacles come after the Page of Pentacles. So there will be more planning, but the steps will be consciously made. My Page of Cups. This is someone who's trying to figure out if they like you or not. This is someone who's trying to sort through their trauma. This could be someone who's trying to decide if they need to go to therapy. This is someone who's trying to figure out, you know, their intentions, if they can be compassionate, learning about what empathy is. Someone who's just now trying to figure out how to trust their intuition. Someone who may be a little afraid of tapping into their emotions and feeling them all the way through, but eventually they will get there. Page of Swords. My swords energy represents your intellect, your communication, mental clarity. This could be someone who's trying to, they might just start journaling. Just to kind of sort through their thoughts, figure out what are they thinking. This can be someone who's in a pivotal phase and trying to learn how to master their thoughts. Recording your thoughts, recording what's on your mind. This can be someone going to school for journalism. We did it. We talked about the court cards. King all the way down to pages. And the significance of these different influences and how these people, because again, these energies are people or influences of people, attitudes, and different things like that. I kind of breezed through that, I felt like, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down in the comments. I want to be able to help you. That's why I'm doing this. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm happy to be done with that. I want to say we just about halfway done with the deck. We got the aces, the twos. We really got a lot to go. Threes. I was a little bit more optimistic than I should have been. We're at least a quarter way through the deck. It's not that big of a deck, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So hold on. It's 78 cards in the tarot deck. We've gone through about half of them. I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to start my next segment going through, because I want to make this easily digestible. I don't want to spit a whole bunch of information at you, because in doing that, it's a lot. And it's already a lot of depth that comes with reading tarot. I just want you to be able to enjoy the learning process, because if you're not enjoying it, you won't be able to master it. You won't want to do any readings. You won't want to pull a card on yourself, because it'll just seem really overwhelming and cumbersome. And I don't want that for you. The good thing is we already talked about numerology. So in reading the breakdown of the suit ace to tens will be really easy, because we've talked about numerology and we talked about the meaning or the representation of the suits. So it'll really kind of flow. Honestly, I feel like the next video will probably be just flowing through the rest of it, because I feel like every category of the tarot deck deserves its own glory. So yeah, the first video was about the major arcana, numerology, the tarot associations with the astrology signs. This video was about the court cards and my associations to the astrological signs and the meaning of them. And I hope that my definition and my examples helped bring it home for you and will make it a little bit more easier to grasp. I'm going to end this video here. I hope you follow up and watch my third video. And if you have any questions on this content, please leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to address them for you. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. I'll catch you on the next video. Okay? Have a good day.